lattes. My name is Geri Habstritt. I'm an Avesa quantum healer, medical intuitive, and your host for Light Laughter and Lattes today. I have a special guest today, a fellow medical intuitive. His name is Patrice, and he's coming to us all the way from France. And he has a spectacular story, as so many people on the path of awakening do, or even medical intuitives do. It seems as though there's always some experience that jolts us into the remembering of our innate gifts and who we truly are. So Patrice absolutely has one of these stories, and I'm so excited to connect with him today. And as we both learn about his awakening and his gifts. So hi, Patrice, welcome.
Hello, Jerry. Thank you so much for having me on your show. This is amazing. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me as well. So let's get right into your story. Share with everyone how you woke up to your gift as a medical intuitive.
Okay, so I used to write software and build websites. This is what I used to do for a living. And eventually I built a website for, it was a directory of dentists in French, in France. And I got sued for it because it did not respect regulations. So it was like the equivalent of the Better Business Bureau. And in France, it is the police actually. So it's not a bureau that's dedicated for this. It's like a commercial police, but it is the police. So I was under investigation. Why did you do this website? Call your lawyer, etc., etc. This was very, very traumatic for me because I never committed a crime before. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? At the same moment, my mom passed away. I was very, very depressed. So I did not understand how the law system worked in France, which was the same thing in the US. So they have a text that says this is a criminal offense, this is what you risk, but this is for really dangerous criminals. So I risked $300,000 of fine and 3 years in jail. And I was like, oh my God, for a website. And I was crying every day and I was so depressed, so depressed, so depressed. Every day I would go to bed and I was hoping not to wake up the next day. I was like every day for like almost a year. I was like, please don't wake up the next day. This is where I was at. I was so down. It was like horrible. And you don't know what's going on with the lawyers and the police because they don't tell you anything. So you get the monkey mind, and every day you're thinking, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. That was the loop in my head, and I had monkey mind nonstop. I'm never going to be able to pay 300,000 euros of fine. I have to sell my house. I have to sell everything that I have. Uh, but I didn't end up paying this, of course. It was just a website. And so this is when I got into meditation. My guitar teacher told me, Patrice, please do something. You cannot stay like this. You're too depressed. Try meditation. So I found the app on the French app on the App Store. It was called Zenfi. And there was a meditation called Monkey Mind. So I did the app, I did tons of meditation. I got completely addicted because when I was meditating, I completely forgot my problems. It was a very good gateway to get away from my problems and my monkey mind. And there was this one meditation called Monkey Mind actually. So I do this meditation and it lasts 20 minutes. And probably like 15 minutes in, the guy says, think about this, think about that, think about this. And then he says, think about anything that you want now. And at that precise moment, I entered into the light for 20 seconds. It's when like people have NDE and they say, "Oh, I'm into the light," like in movies. It was exactly like this, and I was surrounded by light, love, and laughter. I was so happy. It was like pure bliss for 20 seconds, which is a long time when you meditate and you're into that zone.
Mhm.
That was absolutely incredible. So my wife came, she said, why are you laughing? You're at the worst point in your life and you're so happy. I said, I entered into the light. I don't know, I got there. It was amazing. So this was it for that episode. And then I said to my wife, we cannot stay here. I could not stay in the house. It was like I was in jail in our own house. And I was like a lion in a cage, basically. I said, let's go to Portugal. And we went to Portugal and I decided to take care of myself for the first time in my life at 50 years old. So I waited a long time because I was a workaholic. And there was a massage place next to where we stayed. I said, I'm going to get a massage there. I knew I had to go to this place. I don't know what. It was a very humble place. It was not fancy at all. But I said, I have to go see this lady. It was very hard to get an appointment with her because she was late all the time or never there. She was about to close her shop because she had no clients actually. Because her store was not very appealing at the time. She was just starting. She had no budget. I said, this is this person. I need to see this person. I don't know why. And I waited hours in front of her door until she showed up. And I said, do you want to take me as a client? And she looked at me and she said, yeah, okay. What I did not realize is that this lady did more than massage. She was actually she's from Brazil. She's a daughter of shamans, and she trained with monks in Nepal. So this I knew later because I did not know that when I started. It was just occidental, and she just saw like a guy, a tourist. So she said, he's just a tourist. I'm going to give him a massage. So she gave me a massage, and the massage was honestly the best massage I've ever had in my life. I never had a massage like this ever again. She's that good. And she said, "Do you want to come back?" And I said yes. And she was so happy because she said she was the first person who wants to come back. But so uncomfortable our place was. It was very cold. The massage table was the cheapest you could find. Believe me, it was like a ping pong table. But it was so humble. But at the same time, the level of work was with so much love. It was like undescribable. And there was an extra dimension to it that I could perceive at the time. I said, yes, I have to come back here. I don't know what's going on. I have to come back. So every week I would go back. And eventually I felt the shockwave of energy on my body. I knew she did not touch me. She would do like shamanic rituals and things like this. I had no idea what that was. I had never experienced energy work before. And I felt this shockwave like a ripple on my body, like poof. And then I barfed energy. I went, whoa! It was like my throat opened, and it was like in the movie The Green Mile, exactly the same thing. And I said, what happened? And she said, I got it, I got it. So she actually removed the dark energy that was in my body. I'm going to keep the story short because this is a 2 years story. So I would go every week and she would do rituals and massage. She worked a lot with touch. And she would give me assignments. She said, oh, meditate, do this, go in nature. And I don't know why some assignments were very silly. I did everything. It was like I was on a mission. I had to do it. And then I got addicted to meditation. I started to meditate 5 hours a day. I was very lucky that I was able to do this because my job was giving me a lot of free time. And eventually I started to see emojis on people. So when they would touch me, I would see emojis like a little heart if they were happy, a little mask if they were a liar, like a Venetian mask from the carnival, things like this. And I was like, wow, that's cool. I'm starting to see holograms. I totally embraced it. It felt normal to me. It was like, yeah, of course. That was very strange. So eventually we went back to France, and my wife was sick for many, many years. Nobody could figure out what she had. And I said, let's do like the lady in Portugal. Let's do a shamanic ritual. And we just made something up with breath work. We just did breath of fire. I did breath of fire on her belly actually because she had digestive issue and she had breathing issues. So I was like, we were laughing so hard. Honestly, we were laughing so hard. That was ridiculous. We would put that on YouTube. People would think these people are actors. This is ridiculous.
Well, healing, laughing is a source of healing. So I don't doubt that you probably did some good there.
Yeah, that is true. But actually, right, the vibration. You're absolutely right. I didn't think about this way, but the vibration was very high that day because we are laughing so hard. We are hysterical, and then poof, I got a flash in my head. It was my first clairvoyant medical intuition. Let's call it like this. But I did not understand what it was. I was like, oh, what's this? Did I make this up? Am I crazy? And poof, a second one. I said, oh my God, I have to go on Google, and I typed something. And the first picture that came on Google Image was my first vision, actually. I was like, oh my God, this is what I saw. This is a parasite, if there was a name and everything. So we have to call the doctor. And we got very lucky because it was during a lockdown episode. We had an online appointment with a doctor on Zoom or something like this. And we told them, this is what my wife has. She has this parasite name. They had never heard of it. They had to look it up. And they did not ask for any lab test how we got the information. They just prescribed us the medicine. And my wife was healed because actually the parasite started eating her lungs, from the inside, and she could not breathe anymore. It was a parasite who could eat the tissues of the person from the inside. and she was in pain. She could not breathe. She was weak. Her health was deteriorating nonstop. That was my first experience. That was absolutely incredible. Honestly, that was my first experience as a medical intuitive.
What can I ask you what they prescribe for the parasites?
It's just a simple parasite medicine that costs $2. I think it's called flubendazole, something like this.
Oh, okay.
And that was it. That was simple. That's incredible. Honestly, I don't know why no test could find what she had before. This is still a mystery to this day. It was probably organized by the universe, the bigger plan, something like this.
Mhm.
We only know when we cross over.
Right, right.
So I continued my journey. I was very curious, honestly. I'm a very curious person, and I really embraced the journey. And I went to see other people who did energy work because I started to be interested. I started to look at Reiki. What is Reiki? I had never heard of that word before. We're not religious. We never went to church. We're not into energy work. And started to look it up. I did a Reiki training online. It was during a lockdown episode, so that was perfect. And then I started to do the 21-day Reiki protocol because you have to do this. We had nothing else to do, and we don't watch TV. We got rid of our TV. So when I started to remember my past lives, but it was like full HD. I call that full HD vision. It was like movies, more real than this reality. So this is what
Mhm.
people describe in NDEs. I could reach that state without being dead, basically. And that was absolutely incredible because I had somatic effects on myself. I was shaking. I was like, "Whoa," I was like yawning, crying. I was like, what's going on? I understood I was clearing karma or something like this. I don't know exactly how that works. So I continued, then I finished. And then some friends asked us, what is energy work? I want to try. So we did a little massage room in our house, just a simple one. So, oh, let's go. I'm going to do you a session. So we have a friend who's about 60 years old and he limps. So I'm going to do it. So I do a Reiki thing, very like school based. I follow the protocol, blah, blah, blah. And I arrive on his leg. I remember I arrived on his leg and I see a video. And at the same time, the guy is like screaming. He's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 what's going on?" And he has tears. He has tears. I'm crying, but I'm not sad. What's happening? And I have the taste of blood in my mouth. I don't understand. I say, well, I know what's happening. I'm seeing a past life, and you're kicking a guy in the head, and you are reliving the scene, but from the other guy's perspective. And to him, that made complete sense. So I finish, I go, so I emit the energy, I transmute the energy with this kind of unpleasant. Sometimes I have like this barfing sound, it's with no matter, it's just energy,
Mhm.
like in the movie The Green Mile.
Mhm.
So that's it. The guy gets off the table, he does not limp anymore. His limp is gone. He's been limping for years and years and years. That was incredible. Honestly, absolutely incredible. So I want to explore more. It was very hard to find people to try on because we live in the countryside, we live in the forest. And people are kind of afraid with energy work when you begin. They're like, oh, with what energy do you work? Is it safe? Blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
But I was never afraid. I knew I was working with clean energies. Uh, and I found a woman who was a fibroid, actually. And I did a session on her. And it is the first time I could feel energies in my hand. I had my hand on top of her belly and I was pulling energy, but I could actually feel it in my hand. I was very surprised. I was like, whoa, this is the first time I can feel energy. There's like actually a density to it. This was absolutely mind blowing. And I made a mistake. I touched her belly, so she had her clothes on, but I touched her belly and the energy shot through my hand. And I actually had a burn mark inside my hand. It's like a laser beam. What? It was so painful. I had a physical burn mark. I also lost my eyesight for about 2 minutes. My eyesight turned red. It was like I had blood in my eyes. I was like, what's going on? And then I received a message in my head, go outside, go touch a big rock. So we are very lucky because we have a big rock in the garden. And I touched it and I feel this discharge of energy going to the ground like and then my eyesight started to come back. It turned green. And I was like, oh my God, this is Archangel Raphael. I have never experienced an Archangel before, but I know green. It's like what people describe, and it's a very strange green. It's a green that does not exist on the planet. Uh, I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. Then my eyesight come back a little bit at a time, and then I go back to the lady and I continue. And then something incredible happened. Honestly, absolutely incredible. In the corner of the picture, so like here, for example, I had these little mudras like this with two hands. It was like in the news when there is a sign language person. And they were explaining to me, if you do this type of work with hands-on healing, you have to use mudras so the energy does not shoot through your hand. That was absolutely amazing. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I don't have to study. I have the built-in documentation. I'm so lucky. And that was absolutely amazing to see the instructions. And this happened many more times after. I got instructions, and I still get instructions when I do sessions. And because I'm not a medical professional, I haven't studied energy work either. It's like I remember from another life, or I don't know from where. I don't think it's a gift. I think I studied it in previous lives, and I'm just starting to remember how this works. So I continued, and then I was like, I wonder if this works remotely. I'm super curious, honestly. I'm super curious. And I tried to find people who would like to try online. It was very difficult to try to find people, actually. And eventually I found 10 people on an American forum. And I told them, don't tell me your name, don't tell me what you have. I don't want to know anything. I want to try to read you and see what I get. And it was very difficult. I was meditating every day to get some stuff. And I was very surprised because eventually I started to receive the information in lucid dreams, but it was like full HD holograms. It's like, I don't know if you've done medicinal plants like ayahuasca or magic mushrooms. It's like with colors that don't exist here. It's like holographic colors. I don't know how to describe. But I was completely lucid, and the dreams would last hours. I was very tired after, of course. But I would write everything down, and I would say to the people, this is what I saw. So I would describe it with my vocabulary, which was not medical because I did not study medicine. It's like, this is what I see. I see this. I see like little dots on your skin. What's happening? So for this lady, that was very cool because I said, I saw little dots on your skin, but also I don't understand because your body looks like a Picasso painting. It's like the leg is instead of the head is instead of your hand. And she says, yes, I have a very big nervous system problem. It's completely damaged by Lyme disease, and the dots you see is like all the tick bites that I had. I was like, whoa, this is incredible. So I described what I saw. Then I had other people. I dreamt their condition, and I remember very well this kid. She was a mom. I don't know if she found me. Honestly, the universe arranged this. She says, my kid has a lung infection. They cannot figure out what he has. He's going to die. Can you read my kid? I said, yeah, okay. And this was my longest lucid dream ever. It lasted 7 hours. And I was navigating inside the kid's body. I remember everything. It was like full HD colors. And I remember there was this little green guy on his lungs. He looked like Luigi from Super Mario and Luigi, the video game. And that was very funny. And I said, oh my God, this is Archangel Raphael. And I remember very well, he pulled a sword out of the lung. So I described my dream to the mom, and she says, yes. And I said, I'm sorry to tell you this, but does your little boy like Luigi from Super Mario and Luigi? And she says, oh my God, this is his favorite video game character. I said, well, I think it's Archangel Raphael manifested like this. And he did something. And 2 days later, the infection was gone and the kid was perfectly fine. So it's not me, obviously. I didn't do anything. I just opened a channel. I don't exactly know how that works. And this started for me. I don't like to say the word healer because I don't consider myself as a healer. The spontaneous recovery of people after reading. This is really where there was this big switch for me, like, oh my God, something bigger is happening when I read people's conditions, something that I don't understand. And this was incredible.
So can I ask the whole Mario brother thing, right? Is that who it was? Mario brother, one of them.
Yeah, Super Mario, it was Luigi, it was the two plumbers, yeah, the green guy.
So this little boy got so caught up in the game that he actually took a sword in, basically from the game. he like is that what happened? Like
Oh no, I think it was a message from Archangel Raphael, so the kid could relate, or the mom could relate.
oh,
But
oh,
this is how it was when, because people sometimes they see the Archangel like what you see in cards or I don't know paintings,
right.
but it was a message that the kid could understand.
Okay, so you think okay, and so he took that was a sword probably from a past life that
Oh, that I don't know. I
you
never at that point at my journey. It was at the beginning of the journey, so I did not think about
you
this.
do know.
This is a
Okay,
very good question. I do not know. Honestly, I do not know. For me, it was like removing the disease. This is the way how I understood it. Kind
okay,
of like the Archangel Michael sword or something like this, when you put this sword to clean stuff.
okay,
This is how I understood it, but I don't know. Honestly, the
okay.
important thing is that the kid is fine.
Okay. And so the woman that the energy that shot from her stomach that you burned your hand, do you know what that was all about? That
I I don't know. It was a fibroid. I removed the energy of the fibroid. I know the fibroid is decreasing in size, but I do not know the origin of the why the fibroid was created.
or
Why it
what?
manifested. Yeah, what created the fibroid? I was not at that point of reading yet. I
Right.
could not identify the origin of the problem.
Yeah. I think there's kind of an advantage for us medical intuitives to not have a medical background or to not have even I've never read the Bible. Um, And I think it opens us up easier to receive true information because we're not clouded by a written story or a belief system that was imposed upon us. So we have no belief system like a child, right? Who's wide open when they're born. They don't have any belief systems yet imposed upon them. They're wide open. They can do everything. And that's my take on it. Anyways, it feels like sometimes the less we know with our mind, the better we, we are.
I totally agree with that. Yeah, the less we know, the better it is. We just open the channel and let anything that could happen happen. Uh, so this is what happened with a medical doctor, because I have doctors and nurses calling me. I would not say all the time, but very often for cases they cannot solve. So this was a medical doctor, and she showed me her hands and she said, "Look at my hands. I cannot fold them anymore. My fingers are super swollen. Nobody can figure out what I have." She went to see all the experts she could find. Honestly, she could not figure it out. So I do a session on her, and she saw a dragon burning her dark energy in her hands and stuff like this. Well, she does not speak about this, obviously. And I received instruction. And I said, "Go get this cream. It's camphor. It was not very well-known plant in the US. Apparently, she had never heard of it. I said, in France, it is very well-known. I heard camphor. Get camphor and rub your knees with this cream." This made absolutely no sense. I was like, she has a problem with her hands, and I'm going to tell her to rub her knees. Are you sure I have to tell her that? And she said, yeah, 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 just tell her this. And she actually did it. And 1 month later, she wrote back to me and she says, "My hands are completely healed. They are not swollen anymore, and I can bend my fingers again." That actually worked. I was like, whoa! This was one of the first time I received instructions like this. But that blew my mind. Honestly, that blew my mind, because I was like, "Oh my god, what kind of instruction is that?" She's going to think I'm absolutely out of my mind. Uh,
Yeah, but s- if you th- so for meridians on the body that travel to all the places, like I know when I do EFT with people, you tap on certain meridians that are holding the energy and it releases throughout. So sometimes there can be a problem on one area, but you're seeing the effect of it someplace else. So
Definitely, that's true.
yeah,
Totally
like
true.
if there's the heart because it pulses out too through our arms and to all areas of the body. If there's a block somewhere, you might experience it somewhere else in your body, but it's the source is the heart.
Definitely. Yeah, that happens more and more now that I understand how it works. Well, not how it works, but how to transmit the information. Sometimes I have patients with their neck that are blocked, and I say, "Focus on your wrist and imagine a white ball of light," and suddenly their neck gets unblocked. Like they can move their neck, they have no pain. I'm like, "Oh my god, this is so cool!" This makes no sense because I do not know the anatomy very well. I did not go to school for very long, so I'm like the perfect candidate to innocence and receiving messages. This is what you say. I have like a kid spirit, and I did not lose it.
Good. Very good. That is so good. So did you grow up, were you raised with very an open mind, or did you have any strict belief systems, dogmas, any of that kind of stuff you had to overcome, or
Oh no, my parents were very, very open to everything. They let us explore the world. They were the one to kick us out of the out of the house. Go explore the world. We don't want you here. But my mom would make premonitory dreams, and she would write them down on a notebook. So we were kind of open to this world. We knew it was true because everything that she dreamed happened. So
Mm,
like we were open to this world. We did not grow up religious. We never went to church except for funerals and things like this, but or weddings. But we just were normal people, non-religious, normal people. That's all.
right. So you were raised in a way that really supported this in you later. You didn't have to overcome a
Yeah.
lot of a lot of belief systems that this isn't possible, or this isn't so, or it's black magic. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's true. Now, what surprised me the most when I was meditating, I started to see ascended masters, and this I did not expect this to happen. Actually, I never heard about this kind of stuff. I never heard about clairvoyance, actually. And when I started meditating, I was seeing Buddha very often. Almost every time I was meditating every day. And I told the lady in Portugal, I said, when I meditate, I see Buddha. And she thought I was just making this up to impress her at the beginning, to seduce her. I don't know, impress her. I said, no, 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 no. And then one day she actually saw him too. And she said, oh my God, this is true. And she cried because she had never seen Buddha. And she's like, oh my God, Patrice, this is true. Buddha is with you. I don't know why. He really came a lot at the beginning of my journey. And sometimes during readings, some ascended masters come. Not very often. It's really on very heavy cases that I cannot solve alone, apparently, because sometimes I ask them to come and I hear, no, you have to do this alone. I don't know why, but okay, I will do this alone. That's fine. Uh, but this is a crazy story that happened when I was meditating a lot. I was up there all the time because I loved it so much. I really love meditation, and I have an incredible focus. I meditated so much. One day, Yeshua showed up and he said, "Go clean your kitchen." And they did not want me to meditate anymore because for me it's too easy to go up there. And I just met people who can see energies, and they say, "Patrice, you can live like this. You snap your fingers and you're gone." And for me, it's very easy. It was very hard for me actually to be grounded and to stay on Earth. More of a space person than an Earth person. And it was very hard for me to find the balance between Earth and space, if we can put it like this. Uh, and so now I'm basically forbidden for meditation. I'm like, everybody said, "Oh, you have to meditate, you have to have a practice." Except Patrice, I do not play with the same rules. For me, it's very hard to be here. This is what happened when I was doing my awakening, let's call it like this, because I went to see many, many energy workers, shamans, and everybody I could find. I went to see where I thought they were when I thought they were the real deal, and they all said the same thing. They said, "We don't understand. You don't have a connection to Earth." It was like it's like I'm not connected to the human grid. I call this the human grid, like the other people. This is when I discovered the world of star seeds. And I have a different connection from everybody else. I had clients who can see energies very well, and they could see that too. And they say, we don't understand because you have this sphere of energy around you that's like a bubble of protection. I have it all the time. They don't know why. They have never seen that before. And they also describe the same thing. I can leave my body very fast to go work on people. And also the work I do when I do energy work is extremely, extremely fast. It's way faster than Reiki. So it's not Reiki. It's something they had never seen before. I don't know. I don't have a name. I have no idea. I don't remember. I'm just Patrice from the forest. I can just relay what the information I received is.
Mhm.
And I know I can clean very, very fast. This is what I do. I clean stuck energies or dirty energies so people can heal themselves. So I do not heal people. I want to be very clear about that. I'm not a healer. I remove the blockage so people can heal themselves.
Yeah, you're cosmic, right? You're very cosmic and probably
Yeah.
haven't had many experiences on this planet.
I think this is probably my third incarnation here because I do not understand anything to this planet.
It's a darn good thing too. There's it if you try to understand it.
Yeah, I remember my first
Yeah.
incarnation because this happened during a massage with the lady in Portugal, Daniela. She's called Hoya. She's from Hoya, Hoya. I was a plant actually. I remember perfectly. I was like, oh my god, I was a lily of the valley. And in 1 hour, I relieved the full season of the plant from the seeds to the growth and winter. That was incredible. Honestly, that was incredible. That opened my mind to reincarnation. That we are not only humans; we can be anything. Could be maybe we can reincarnate in a rock. Who knows?
Probably. Probably. So did you I know on my first awakening journey, so mine was um sort of similar. I called all the things in. I was noticing that I was manifesting very quickly, like almost immediately things. And I tried to figure out how on earth I was doing this and how I could do it with some things easily and other things not so easily. So I wrote some gigantic letters on my bedroom wall, show me why I'm here, tell me who I am, I wanted to get really clear. And so I was taken into a week long dream state, and one night after the other, the dream state continued. And it wasn't a dream. I was taken somewhere because when I woke up, I didn't have to eat or drink anything for a week. I was just high on life. And I was shown that I could heal people from a distance and I could heal people with my hands. And I had probably 3 nights of dreams where you need to trust yourself without a doubt. You need to, and it was all about trust. And during these dreams, I actually healed people in the dreams instantly, but I thought it was just a dream. Then it ended up being a couple years later where I would talk to that person and they would say they were almost dead. And all of a sudden they woke up healed. And I'm like, when did this happen? And it was the exact same time that I had the dream. And they were like, oh my God, that's the only answer because I've never had an explanation. So
Wow.
I had similar to you. You did it through meditation. I I mean, it's really all about releasing our darn minds, isn't it? If we
Yes.
can let go of the mind, we can receive so much information. To let go of those belief systems, relax the mind, and really just trust ourselves into this state, of knowing. And
Mhm.
because I believe, everyone can do what we do. On some level, maybe not the same level. Granted, we're all different. Like I know you would tend to be more cosmic, so your way is going to be different. I know that I've been on this planet thousands of times. So my way and gifts and knowings are a little bit different, but in ways so similar too. We're just so much more than what this world would allow us to believe that we are.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I believe so. I don't know if you know Shina Gillette. She channels the Archangel Theo Collective, and she channeled something one day, and with the collective, it's the Archangel Collective, and they said every human has a unique gift, and we have to work together. And I believe this is true.
Yes.
I see during my sessions when there is a family, because I can see people's gifts. Is one of my gifts is to see people's gifts actually, and it asks the family members to put your hand here on your mom, put your hand here on your dad, and they do a family healing together, and the effects are extraordinary. It is so much more powerful when we work together because we all have unique gifts and we cannot work alone anymore. This is our challenge in this lifetime, is to team up. If we do this, this is going to be extraordinary.
Yes.
uh, I don't know if you know Lynn McTaggart also. She has a website and she talks about the power of eight. She has done experiments and she discovered that with 8 practitioners, it is the most effective way to give a healing to someone.
Mm.
And I believe this is true. We cannot do anything, everything alone. We can do as much as we can, but there's a limit to what we can do.
Mm.
And it's been designed this way, so we work together again.
Yeah.
It's a design that's been made on purpose. I don't know the big picture yet, but I'm sure of this.
Mhm. So, did you have any lessons of discernment as you were learning this? I know when I was first opening up and learning my gifts, I had a very clear lesson on discernment. I went to see, and you have to be so careful. I'm sharing this with people so that they'll be conscious of this. I went to someone for a reading, and this was really early in my journey. And my belief system back then was that anyone that can give a reading must be of the highest, because how would they be able to connect with me and be able to give me higher information if they weren't of the highest themselves? That was my belief system. So I showed up to this woman to give me a reading. Her room was on top of a bar, like a nightclub. I go up there and she answers the door. The place is a mess. She's got a candy bar and a soda pop in her hand. And I'm seeing red flags going up everywhere. And I get a reading from someone who, yeah, gave me maybe 70% of the truth, but had, excuse me, had a lot of energy of, you need to go after this person because of it. This person's, and I left there feeling horrible. And that night in the dream state, I had this thing, like it looked like a dementor coming towards me, and I had to command it off. So this was my lesson in discernment. In not everyone is of the highest just because they can offer you information in healing, or not healing, but can just offer you information in a reading, right?
Mhm.
So did you have any of those experiences along your way where you were being taught discernment?
Not to that extent. I was very, very blessed in the persons I meet. I met extraordinary person on my route. I met 2 people who were not of the highest good, but they were not that bad. This is a problem with psychic gifts. Is that it gets to the head of many people. They think because they can get a picture, they are God basically, and they just and then their imagination takes over. That happens. But I was very, very blessed. I met the right people at the right time, and uh, and I met different people who gave me the same information. This is what I trusted the most. It's what I could recoup the information from different people. Things that were said only once, I did not trust too much. Uh, but when you get the same information 3, 4, 5 times, you say, okay, there's something. So yeah, but I have to agree with you. You have to be very, very careful with readings. I've had actually a recent reading from somebody who is very famous. I will not say the name. Uh, and now what I can see energies, I was like, oh my God, what's wrong with your connection? You're so dirty. Because this is what's happening, and there's only one person who talks about this is James Van Prague, the famous medium.
Mm.
If you do too many readings, it drains your lymphatic system. And this person is doing like 5 or 6 readings a day. This is basically impossible. I've experienced it myself. I was doing 2 to 3 a day. When the taste in my mouth started to change, and I went to see a naturopath, and she said, your lymphatic system is drained. This is what you taste. You have a metallic taste in your mouth. You have to stop. You have to take holidays because you're draining your physical body too much. So I would say stay away from people who do too many readings. They cannot be of the highest quality. You have to be perfectly grounded and perfectly up there. It has to be a very, very good balance. Uh, this is a problem because there's too much money in this business, and uh, and this is challenging, especially if you live in a big city like Los Angeles or New York, because the cost of living is so high. You take clients, clients, clients. Uh, this is a very big problem because I don't know how to the ethics of the job basically. Because if you have somebody who is sick or wants a reading, I don't know how to put this into words. I'm just going to speak with my limited vocabulary. I don't want to charge like $600 or $900 for a person who is sick that does not resonate with my ethics.
Mhm.
Uh, because this is what the prices that are being done in big cities in the US.
Mhm.
I have a problem with this. But at the same time, if the person is clean, she can do only one a day. And this is the money you need to live in New York. So I don't know. I do not know how to solve this equation. Uh, I'm still challenged about this actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of went off road from your question about the quality of the reading. Sorry
The
about this.
quality of the readings. Yeah. No, I just I think discernment is just so important for people if they're going to um, enlist in someone. Because as soon as you agree to do a reading with someone, you've basically given your energy over to someone else. And
Yeah.
so you want to make sure that whoever you're connecting with is of the highest. They carry a lot of light, um, and to not everyone out there has a clear connection. Not everyone um, has your highest interest in mind. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
yeah,
that's true. But people need to know something very important. Your guides will never give you a bad message. They will always be diplomatic. So if somebody says, "Oh, this is dangerous, don't go see this man," something like that, is not the love of your life, is going to be dangerous for you. This is not a message from your guides. They will have a diplomatic tone. They will always put the free will in the balance. They will be, well, you have free wills. Maybe you should
mm,
consider that.
right.
This I have had many times. Actually, I've had recently from a lady who can see messages written on people, and she was not in the right zone because she's in a difficult period in her life. And she said, "Patrice, there's a message for you." And I don't know. I did not trust this message. I really trust this lady. Usually, she has very, very good information, but that day the vibe was off. I was like, "There's something wrong." And I had a doubt, and I went to see other people and asked the same information, and they came back with a different answer.
Mm.
And I realized, oh yeah, that's true. The guys they never give you a bad advice or something scary. This-
Exactly, exactly. Yes, that's perfect. Any message or information that would ever come from your guides or archangelic realm or the ascended realms is always going to uplift you.
Yes.
And if you receive anything other than upliftment, if it's fear, if it's something you wouldn't want to hear, then you're not getting the highest message. Someone's being interfered with. And
Mm.
so, yeah, I think you were spot on trusting your gut on the person who is giving you a funny message.
Yeah, and also the discernment in the readings I give. I want to talk about this. Well, maybe you are facing the same issue because when I read people, they ask me how long is it going to take me to recover, and this is a very because I'm receiving numbers. But there are so many factors that play because we don't know if you're going to change their lifestyle. If you have a liver problem and you still eat 1 pound of candy a day, cannot do anything for you. I'm sorry. So I would receive an answer like, yeah, you could heal your liver in 2 months, but if you stop eating candy, and this is a very tough problem for me because I know it's possible, but I don't know what people are going to do with their lives after they leave the reading because I'm giving them advice to maybe stop eating candy, for example. This is a very easy one. But will they do it? I don't know. And then they might say, oh my God, that did not work. That hasn't happened yet. But this is also the clients need to learn about the discernment of the message we give them too, because their life is impacted with their environmental factors. So it's just an estimation.
Right. Yeah. Most of, well, I shouldn't say most. Well, yeah, the majority of the medical intuitive work that I do, I work a little different than you. I don't see per se. I do in my dreams when I can relax my mind, but in the waking state, I call someone's energy in so that I feel them, and I use my hands to scan their energy field. And so I feel where the blockages are, and I know the organs and the emotions that are trapping that energy there. So then I work with the individuals to free those emotions. And usually it's a judgment, a lack of forgiveness, maybe a sorrow or a grief that they haven't let go of. And so I work that way. Um, I had a son, my youngest son, when he was, 4, 5, 6. He was coloring people's entire energy fields, and he was coloring the chakras in their hands. Um, Even before he didn't even know what chakras were, he would draw a circle in the palm of everyone's hands and then on the top of their feet. And when I was first learning my medical intuitive gifts, I would say, I'm feeling something, maybe on their heart. And he would give me the color. And then he would give me the reading and say, well, it's this color because they're feeling this way, not because of this. And so he was actually my, he was actually my reassurance as I was learning on what I was feeling, and he would give the picture to it.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, the kids that are coming right now, they are absolutely mind-blowing. They can see energies with their eyes open. I know a little girl who's 9 years old. She can see like entities on people in the street. I say, why are you changing sidewalk? I say, well, this guy has a monster on his shoulder. Can you see this? So I have to close my eyes. I have to like, okay, I'm going to meditate for 2 seconds. Oh yeah, you're right. Let's switch sidewalk.
I know. I tell them all the time. In a world right now where the lies seem to be more prominent than the truth, and you can even see it in social media. People are saying, oh, it's photoshopped, oh, it's AI, and pretty soon you don't even trust a photograph of nature because it might not even be the real photograph, right?
Mhm.
It's coming to the point where the only thing you can do is trust your gut and trust your, if your vision's open and
Mhm.
then right, there can't
Yeah.
be any lies around it.
Yeah, follow your heart. It's the best strategy. Follow your heart. Get
Yeah.
rid of this. Turn off your TV. Turn off your smartphone if you can. This is very addictive. This is very hard to do.
Yes.
But if you follow your heart, your life will change so quickly. You are not going to believe it.
Yes, that is like the best ending information ever, ever. That's beautiful. Do you want to share with people? I mean, and I'll put it to in the link where people can get a hold of you, but I'm sure there'll be many that will want to.
Well, you can find me on my website, patricekrysztofiak.com, if you can type the name, because there's a lot of letters that are 10 points, 10 points at Scrabble, Scrabble. So if you crack the
I'll,
password.
I'll just put the link for everyone. That'll be easier. I can't even try say your name. So okay, well, this has been fabulous. It was great, Patrice, visiting with you um, and having this interview. It's awesome. I love what you're doing. I love your spirit. I love how you're helping people, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you so much.